barking out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
1 second left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnop.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vine, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big dog sports talk, lighten up the dark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark. Sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark.
Shadow. Remember the white shadow? Welcome. How are you? Hope everybody's doing all right here on this. What is today? Hell, it's Tuesday. Everything sound all right? Sounds a little funky on mine. Everything good? Everything good on your end? Okay. Y'all let me know. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Wayne. How's everybody doing? Why are you in Baltimore, Wayne? I think Wayne is a closet Maryland fan. Okay, good. Good. Doesn't it sound? See, I don't know how many people remember The White Shadow. The White Shadow was a great show. I was a little kid. And before we get into the good stuff, I'm very distressed this morning because yesterday, about a little past midday, UNC Greensboro fired Mike Jones. And, you know, he had won 20 or more games 3 straight years. Team was a little down this year, but he got to the semifinals of the Southern Conference. The team that beat them won the title last night, the Furman Paladins. And they let Coach go yesterday. Mike, I reached out to him, and he appreciated that. And I know it's a tough time, but I'll tell you one thing. College basketball is much worse today than it was yesterday if Mike Jones is not in it. I mean, I don't know what UNC Greensboro thinks they're going to become. And I know when he was in for the Hall of Fame, you know, he kind of had a feeling that they needed to go do something in the tournament, but they did. They got to the semifinals. So, not happy. Not happy today. And I know Coach will land on his feet. There were a lot of people reacting on X yesterday like, what? What's going on here? Good luck, UNC Greensboro administration. Good luck. One of my all-time favorite people, Mike Jones. And I don't know whether he'll still want to be in coaching, you know. But he did a good job with that team down the stretch. And I don't know if they have new administration there. You know how it is. You get new administration, you want your own guy. But Coach will land on his feet. There's no question about it. But anyway, wanted to get that going because that really kind of torqued my day yesterday afternoon. And I know it's part of the business, right? I understand it's part of the business. I understand that. That's not, you know. But, you know, when you have a personal relationship with somebody, it really bothers you. You know? But good luck finding somebody who's going to win 20-plus games and average 22 wins over 3 years. Good luck. Good luck, UNC Greensboro. Good luck with that. Program that has next to no money to spend. And Mike still got good players in there. And, oh, by the way, he still cared about their graduation and their academics. You know. But anyway, the good people, good things happen to good people. And I didn't think he got back to Greensboro after the tournament and felt like he was going to – they didn't waste any time. Brought him in, boom, he was gone. So anyway, Coach, we're thinking about you. Love you. And you will be just fine. They won't be. You will be. Absolutely, Prometheus. One of the absolute most grounded and genuine human beings I've ever known, Mike Jones. So it's put you in a state of mind that you just bugs you. Just bugs you. No Morris this morning? What did he do? Did he oversleep on the golf course? Where's the Morris intro? Guys, gals, where'd he go? Yeah, he would be. He could be. I have a feeling he's going to be in very high demand. Got a hunch. We'll see what he decides to do. I mean, he's at the point of his career. He can pretty much do what he wants to do at this point. But from folks I talked to around college basketball yesterday afternoon when all this happened, this sounds much more like a UNCG thing than a Mike Jones thing. And that doesn't surprise me at all. So, anyway, just wanted to get that out of the way. Morris not here this morning. Wow, that's big. That's big. He has to still be like, you think maybe he like sometimes goes out to watch the sunset at the Palm Coast, maybe with a umbrella drink or two, and he just kind of falls asleep, and then, you know, the waves make you sleepy. Oh, there he is now. From Charlotte Coliseum, where the basketball nets are hung. Hopefully the Hokies aren't throwing bricks up and getting ACC tournament stung. Wow, look, he's rhyming even. BDST is live and online. So I'm going to go let Creed out. Creed is in a funky mood, too. I think Creed's mad about Coach Jones, too. He's that guy. Hang on. Dude, come here. Come on. Go. Good. Warm weather time, so he's critter hunting. You are in high demand. I mean, it's not the same. We can't really start the show without you, Morris. You're so busy down at Dolphin Direct, you couldn't make time for the show. That's great. Okay, that's fine. Marva today will join us coming up. See if she's still in denial about Caleb Wilson. Brian Seigla from the Boundary Corner, and then Mike Burnop with an ACC preview. Tech tonight. What's the spread? Let me see here. Somebody's already asking on our professional door text line. Tech is 2.5-point favorites over Wake. It is the 7:00 game tonight. I should be, well, if I'm not done with baseball, it'll be close. JMU and Radford today. I don't know if Mr. Roan's coming. Maybe Matt will come. Probably not. The women, I know his women made the NCAA tournament in basketball. So Pitt and Stanford, woo! Nothing just drips ACC legacy than Pitt and Stanford in the opening game of the ACC tournament.
Oh my. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was out of nowhere.
Whew. Go ahead and plan on getting off work early, because it's going to be hard for you to sit there at your desk or if you're outside and go, boy, I can't miss a single moment of Pitt and Stanford in the ACC tournament. Traditional rivals Syracuse and SMU follow that one up. And then, hey, a proper game, Wake and Tech tonight. I think so. I think it's Capel's last game. I think he's out of there after this year. I do. I did a veteran sleep study last night. Slept like a baby, tossed, turned, cried, crapped the bed. Good stuff, Boris. So I'm getting a lot of compliments on our new shorts that we're running on the channel. So I'll keep doing those little short bits of what we're doing. So if somebody misses a highlight, then all you have to do is go back and watch the short. Right? Yes, it is, Prometheus. I think it's stupid. 2 buys, way too much. And I know the league's too big, but 2 buys, yeah. Agreed. Could not agree more. But congratulations to the JMU women. Tech women await their NCAA seeding. And the Radford women will find out soon about where they're going to be playing their NIT game. So we got postseason basketball for both of our local women's collegiate programs, which is good. Very, very good. Very, very good. I think Forbes, I don't know. Somebody could research that. Has Forbes made the NCAA tournament with Wake? They do love him down there. I have a hunch he'll get another year. I mean, that's a tough job. They left Danny Manning down there a long time. I don't know how much the administration's changed down there either. But I've already seen there's already like 18 openings, 20 openings in college basketball. Now, there's always a lot more, obviously, because there's more schools, more teams, but already like 20 or more now after yesterday. So where do you find coaches? And then all of a sudden you've got to pay more money out. I don't know. My guess is he'll probably return. I don't know if they've made the NCAA or not under him. Yeah, he's a good dude. He came on the show a few years ago on the radio show. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good dude. But I think a lot of schools are making these decisions in a vacuum. Like, I don't know what UNCG, I'm going back to it, because what do they think they're going to be in the SoCon? All right. Mike Jones put together 3 22 or more win seasons back to back to back. I don't think that's ever been done. This year they were down. All right. This year they were 15-19, but he did have them playing hard and in the semifinals of the SoCon. And then you read some of the articles. Apparently that AD had he'd already decided this mid-season. Like, Mike had heard that. He knew he didn't have any support. It's crazy. All right, there you go, Wayne. 2017. But you tell me what UNCG basketball envisions itself into being. Not only a great developer of men. Okay. All right. All right, so he has not made it 2017. Well, we'll see. You never know. You never know what these departments are thinking. That's a lot of openings, though, and that's a lot of, the buyouts aren't nearly as big, but you're going to have buyouts. Then you have to hire new staff. That's why when I was told by a tech official all this is money laundering, I'm starting to believe it. NFL free agency yesterday. We'll get into it with David Smith later in the week, but this is going to come across like I'm bitter because it's the Chiefs. and it's not. I didn't want the Broncos to spend that much money on Kenneth Walker. But you think about it, he got paid because of the Super Bowl. This was a guy, if you went back and broke down, which many people did yesterday, you broke down his career. Not only has he been hurt a lot, but he wasn't even the go-to back inside the 20 during the regular season. It was the Charbonneau kid who got hurt. Walker wasn't even the featured back at the goal line. Had a massive Super Bowl, had a good playoff run, and that got him paid unbelievably yesterday by the Chiefs. Travis Etienne, he's been basically a bust, got paid a whole lot of money yesterday. There were a lot of big contracts. The Raiders spent like $268 million yesterday. Money that they saved on the Max Crosby potential extension, but they didn't add anybody that has nearly the impact of Max Crosby. I think their best signing was the center that they got. That universally seems to be the best signing that they got. They overspent on so many of those other guys, but they now have a center that can work with Mendoza, so you want that up the middle to look good. But, boy, the first day of free agency is always the overspend. What the Colts spent on the Pierce kid. Did you see that? He got like $116 million. He's a slot receiver. Some of these deals are head-scratching. Broncos re-signed their own guys. I think the teams that go nuts, like the Broncos, 4 teams in the playoffs didn't add anybody yesterday. All right? Did not add anybody. Let's see, the Broncos, the Seahawks, the Eagles, and there's one more team that made the playoffs that didn't add anybody. And I think those are the organizations that sit around and, okay, let's just let this thing play out. The Eagles don't need to make a massive splash. They might be working on an A.J. Brown trade. They have a very stable, solid organization. No need to have a knee-jerk reaction. Their window is still wide open. I'd like to think the Broncos' window is open. I hope. But, man, oh, man, there was a lot of money spent yesterday. Just right off the bat. The Raiders were the biggest spenders of anybody. And they had the money, right? They had the most salary cap money. So it makes sense. We'll see if those signings end up paying off down the road. So yesterday after their game, another reason I hate the NBA. Steve Kerr last night after their game whining about how long the season is. And you know what Steve Kerr's reasoning was? That they needed to reduce the season by 10 or 15 games. Because the athletes today are just so much better. It takes so much more. Steve Kerr is everything that's wrong in the NBA and sports. Yeah, exactly, Morris. Tell me what UNCG is going to do. Who they're going to find. Good luck. Like I said, good luck to them. So Kerr whining about it. Either he's whining about his god-awful political takes or he's whining about now the league. It's just too long. Someone asking, well, if that's going to be the case, what about player salaries? No, they should stay the same. Steve Kerr is everything that's wrong in the NBA. Representation, just soft. Yeah, exactly, Wayne. He played with the best player who never missed a game. Now I know why Jordan didn't like him. Why he kept jumping on him while they were making the – maybe it's because he just doesn't want to work as long either. But you're trying to tell me, all right, the evolution of NBA athlete is so great, they need to play less games? I don't see any athletes in an NBA game today that are any better than when I was growing up. And maybe the reason why is you might say, okay, they're better athletically. That's debatable, but they're not better basketball-wise. They're not better basketball players. So maybe the flow of the game when I grew up and you grew up and what we had all the way through Shaq and Kobe and maybe even early LeBron, and then it just went away. The better the basketball makes you look more athletic. All I know is we just talked about this. Everything we talk about here pops up somewhere. I just mentioned this either late last week or yesterday. I think it was late last week, how nobody ever talked about the length of the seasons before. Baseball had been mentioned a few times that maybe they'd go back to 154 and all that. But that went away quickly. It's 162 games, right? It's the summertime sport. NHL, NBA, 82 games. You never hear hockey talking about reducing the schedule because they love their sport. Yeah, the NBA is woke up. Now they need to wake up. They won't as long as Adam Silver is the commissioner. He's only worried about the first part of that statement, Morris. I mean, you sit there after a game and you go into this diatribe how the season's too long. Multi-millionaire. Just shut up. I think our seasons are too long. As workers, right? As general workers, are our seasons too long? Our seasons last all year, and we don't make nearly that kind of money, and nor are we ever appreciated. But the season where they're making multi-millions and have a lifestyle that none of us will ever have, it's too long. They've already implemented load management to reduce it 15 games potentially for every player. And now they want to shorten the season. What a horrible league. What a horribly led league. Wow. Just a joke, really. Just an absolute joke. I wonder if he were proposed the question, all right, you want to reduce it 10 games? Does that mean the load management gets reduced? Oh, no, they should still have their load management. Just like everybody should still have all their money. And this is why Kerr, he tries to come across like he's this well-thought-out scholar guy. Well, you're an idiot because you already have TV contracts that have been signed for, 8 years that were signed with an 82-game schedule. So that means you'd have to go through every every network partner that you have and restructure those deals, and you would lose money. Steve, you idiot. I know you want to come across like you're all proper because your political view makes you so superior. All it does is make you stupid when you say stuff like that. Michael Jordan was right about you, Steve. Yeah, the NFL's headed down the same path, 100%. 100%. And it's going to be an interesting year for them coming up. Haven't heard a word out of Goodell since the end of the Super Bowl. He's been kind of laying low, hasn't he? Steve, you ignorant slut. I don't think we should be playing so many games. It's long. It's too hard to get out of here every day. 82 games is a lot. Wasn't too much for Michael Jordan. Wasn't too much for Kareem. Wasn't too much for Magic or Dr. J. Wasn't too much for Jerry West, Oscar Robinson, Elgin Baylor, Hakeem Olajuwon, Wilt Chamberlain. Wasn't too many games for any of those guys. I never heard those guys come forward and say they wish the season was shorter. It's the embodiment of everything that's wrong with the modern athlete, the NBA. The culture of the league has dissipated to the point of just, I don't even know what the point of the league is anymore. I really don't. See how those playoff ratings look. We know when people have to go through 5 different ways of trying to find it. Just shut up, Steve. Can you just shut up? Nobody cares. You don't have any influence over anybody, Steve. Everybody knows you're an ass clown. Nobody wants to hear about your political rants. Nobody wants to hear about you whining about your job. You're a multi-millionaire. What are you making, $10 million a year? How about you just shut the hell up and coach the game? That'd be great. I'm sorry, you're in the NBA. You're not really coaching the game. How about you go in there and make sure none of these guys go out and do anything wrong so you can actually, play a season. Man, that product is just, it's unwatchable. NRV Super Bowl has served the community for 25 years. I've had a few people here recently say they went over there, heard us talking about it, and they loved the way it looked. You need to get over there, 540-382-5525. Terry and Amanda have done a great job. They have great bowling leagues. They have great stuff. And we thank them for their support, as well as Lawson's Mobile Home Supply. They've been doing it since 1997. You get James a call, 540-381-8011. They have home parts for doors, windows, plumbing. And they also install 300 North Franklin Street. Thanks to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel, 4877 Lee Highway. See? Morning, Robert. Oh, Robert, how did the horse ride go? What we got? Let me know, man. How long were you on your horse? So Robert was going out on horseback yesterday through the trails of Montana. He's already won the week. He's already won the week. Kerr likes to talk, but every time he opens his mouth, a bunch of nothing comes out. I haven't watched an NBA game in years. Yeah. I mean, anytime he talks, it just shows you how incredibly soft he is. He's just so brittle. I think what bothers me the most is the pomposity of people like him who really believe that they have an influence. Kind of like Hollywood actors when they start spouting off about politics, the president, what America's doing. Nobody gives a damn. You don't influence anybody. You're adult pretenders. People have to tell you everything about your job because you can't do anything on your own. You're directed. You have writers that tell you what to say, where to stand, how your emotions are supposed to be. Hollywood got ruined when social media became a thing because now these folks are going out and posting and revealing themselves for who they truly are. And most of them are truly despicable human beings. Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios. Get a free quote, 540-200-8294 at familyfencingnrv.com. Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic, sponsor of our chat room. 155 Walters Drive. I'll be heading over there in a couple weeks. We're going to be filming the gauntlet that I will be going through. Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program. Stacy Compton will be on this week. We're going to reschedule. Got to figure out the day. I'm thinking Friday. Thanks to Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller. Charles Lee, Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. Had somebody reach out yesterday. Hey, what was that number for Little River? I need to make sure my air conditioner is good to go. 540-553-2971. Give Charles Lee and Little River a call. You will not regret it. Our attorney, Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. BDST fan question of the week. Everyone is saying that Tech needs to win the tournament. Right now, that leads with 11 votes. That was our question. How many games does Tech need to win in the ACC tournament? 11 people said all. 9 people say 3 games or 2 games. So we've had quite a few votes. National Bank, member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of yours truly and of this program. Travis Williams, Professional Door Incorporated, residential and commercial garage doors, sponsor of our text line, 38 years in business, right across from New River Community College. Ready Set Fund, ReadySetFund.com. Bob Christ, BOBCRIST 11 at Gmail. Your organization will earn money just like that when you talk to Bob. Trust me. And our newest sponsor started last week, Sundown Electric. They have an excellent reputation and a long list of satisfied customers and superior craftsmanship, attention to detail, clear communication. And I love the fact so many of you have said, oh, yeah, we've used Sundown Electric. And here they are sponsoring the program. Thanks to Jeff Smith and the crew. He and his brother have done a great job. Again, taking their business after their father got it going to different levels, just like what Travis has done with Professional Door. Thanks to everybody. If anybody knows anybody who'd like to sponsor, hit me up. Hollywood got ruined mostly when woke became a thing. Correct. 6 hours on the horse. Man, that's awesome, Robert. Yes, Warriors is an oxymoron. Yes. They could be the wokesters. And Steph Curry, by the way, just like Kerr. You've ever heard him talk about these things? Yeah, but that's exactly right. Social media, the whole thing, just shut up. We don't care. You're not going. Nobody is sitting around going, wow, look at that. I went to a Bruce Springsteen concert, and for 25 minutes, he lectured about politics. Wow, that really enhances my life. Yeah, I'll have to look on the weekends. Again, it comes down to stick and ball for me. You're up there March 28th through the 25th. I'll have to hit you up more, so I have to look and see where I'm doing. I think Tech's got a pretty good path. Like they could potentially play Clemson next if they win. I'll be very surprised if Tech doesn't win tonight. Now, a bid has been stolen, and this is what Tech didn't need. Santa Clara beat St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference Tournament semifinal. So St. Mary's is going to get an at-large bid. Well, I guess not. I guess Gonzaga could still win it. So I guess that hasn't happened yet. So I'll take that back. Let me grab that back. But St. Mary's is still going to go, and Gonzaga is going to go. So Santa Clara would have to beat the Zags, and I don't think that'll happen. We'll see. So I'll take that back. And we'll wait and see what happens there. Anybody watching the World Baseball Classic? United States beat Mexico 5-3. I don't know where the thing stands. That's right. St. Mary's beat Tech. Yep. They're really good. They're really good. They got beat last night. So the only way that will affect teams like Tech that are either whatever Lenardi says they are, last 4 out, first 4 out, whatever the hell it is. The only way that's really going to affect them is if Santa Clara wins over the Zags. 6 hours on the – I keep thinking about just Robert. You had to have a cowboy hat on, right, Robert? Right? I mean, you had a cowboy hat. Probably took like a .22 rifle or a pistol just to be safe in case you ran into Bigfoot. I'm guessing you had like a vest on, you know? Pair of blue jeans, boots. What's your horse's name, by the way? I want to know all these things. Doing us now on the program. I believe she's ready to go. You ready to go, Marva? Okay. I can talk to them in the green room now. What's up, Marva? How are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Doing all right. And I see no Carolina colors, which is the morning
of the reason I'm not wearing Carolina colors is because I am supporting the Hokies in their game against Wake Forest.
Hey, look at that, everybody. Look. She's wearing Hokie colors. Look at that, Hokie Nation. This is because she feels bad after all the smack she talked when Carolina beat them. Boy,
I did not talk that much smack, but I am supporting them because you never know. Carolina and the Hokies could face off again.
They could. Oh, but you will not have Caleb Wilson. I think somebody said last week during our conversation he'd never wear a Carolina uniform again.
Rick, he was so close. He was so close. And because really he's not wearing anything on that left arm or left hand anymore. No. And he was so close. He was still doing these non-contact drills. Went up for a dunk with his right hand and somehow, I guess, caught his thumb on the rim and
somehow.
I mean, he had surgery, Rick. Please, come on. Yeah. He had
surgery. He had surgery. He had surgery because the NBA people said, "You want you go and get that fixed now, so you'll definitely be a top 3 pick." Okay.
No, he had surgery. It was bad, and I really think it definitely affected the team's morale going into Duke on Saturday because Carolina had been on a high, even without Caleb. Won a lot of games, had a misstep at NC State, but that was when they had to do also without Henry Vessar was not playing. So without Vessar playing and without Caleb Wilson playing, it was just bad. But then Carolina regrouped, won a bunch of games some people thought they were not going to win, and was feeling, I think, really hopeful going into Duke. And it was that week, just last week leading up to that game that Caleb had this injury and they said he's out. He had to have surgery and that was it. So, I'm hoping that the team will be able to, regroup and have a good showing in the ACC tournament and a good showing in NCAA tournament. And, when you look at it, it's just, I think it happened so close to the game. It was just so devastating that it affected them. I mean, in the first half of that Duke game, Carolina was hanging in there for a lot of the part. At halftime, we were only down by 5 points. But that second half was just a bloodbath. I mean, the team really missed Caleb's rebounding and his.
He was never going to play against Duke.
He wanted to play.
He was never going to play.
I like to think he might have played a little bit.
I don't believe any of this. I'm sorry.
I mean, he wasn't the only one saying it. The coaching staff.
Oh, no. Yeah, they're going to push the whole diatribe. Sure. Everybody's got to be on board with the same story.
No, I think he was going to play. He wanted to play. And if you looked at him on the bench in that game, for all the other games, he was like head cheerleader. He was, really rallying the guys and everything.
He's making $5 million. I would be happy too.
That last though, but against the Duke, he just didn't quite look. He did like he was really down, and these it's just part of basketball, part of any sport. You have to deal with injuries, and so I just hate it for him that he didn't get to have that experience. And of course, I hate it for Carolina as well.
You hate it for him, yeah, because he's got $5 million in his bank account from Carolina, but you hate it for him that he couldn't play the game.
Well, he wanted to play. Like he truly enjoys playing. He wanted to play, and I hate that he's not going to get to experience that because that would have been really cool for him.
Well, you hate it because it makes you a much worse team without him.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be honest. It does, and as I was saying, you could tell, Carolina really just wasn't there in terms of rebounding at that game against Duke. And really, Caleb leads the team in rebounding and in scoring. And so you wanted to see him be able to play for selfish reasons as a fan, but also just for him. He wanted that experience, and that's something he's not going to get. There's some delusional fans who think he's going to come back. That's not me. No, I've never said he's coming back. I don't. I would love. Yeah, would I love for him to come back? Would I love to see it for self?
Wait a minute. Wait. There's Carolina fans think he's coming back to Carolina.
Yes, there's some people who think he's coming back, and so they are. That's what I said delusional fans who think he's coming back. No, he's not coming back. And I mean, I don't think he should. I mean, he definitely should. He's ready. He definitely should go to the NBA. and be great there. So
You
I
can't
do
be great
hate
in
it for
NBA.
us. But he's not. Like if he did, Rick,
He's not.
I would be shocked. I would be shocked if he, and I don't think
He's
that's
not.
going to happen. And again, I don't
No.
think he should. He should go. He's ready. Some players you see they go, and you can tell maybe they're not. There's questions. Are they ready? No, nobody's questioning whether he's ready or not. He's ready. He should go.
The only way he would go back is if he felt like he was going to make equal money than he would on a first-year deal in the NBA.
I don't even know. I think
nobody's got
he
that
wants to
much
play
for
against. Yeah, I think he wants to play against the very best, and he should go to see what he can do there. And I'm excited to see what he does on the next level. So it was fun to have him here. He was great, but yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah,
Is going to the NBA truly playing against the best? I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah,
I
I know people like to dunk on the NBA for some reason, but these are
because it sucks. Because it's a bad league.
These are still the best players.
Because Steve Kerr's saying we're playing too many games. Steve Kerr just needs to shut up.
They have added, they've added games. They keep talking about adding more games.
No,
but it's still the best
games.
players.
It's 82 games. It's always been 82 games. They haven't added more to the season.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he's talking about there's been talk about them adding. Didn't they add though, like they want to do preseason or whatever?
No, he wants to reduce the regular season by 10 to 15 games. He says it's too hard
to give players more like rest time or whatnot. I don't really know what's going on with that. I don't approve that. But I still think the talent level is still really high. And people who question whether the talent, I just feel like they don't watch enough. Like I watch here and there, especially I'll be watching more, as the college season wraps up. But they're still really talented players. And sometimes because I don't watch as much, I may not know who they are, but the skill level is still really incredible. And I would never say like Caleb Wilson, he faced tougher competition in the ACC. I mean, I think that's just laughable. It's laughable.
But aren't the best players in the NBA all European now? I mean, you think about it. Who's the best player in the NBA? Nikola Jokic, right? You got Luka Doncic. You got Wemby. You got
Giannis. I feel like Wemby is current right at this moment. Like when I watch him, I'm just like, who's going to be?
I mean, they're all international
players. His skill set is amazing. I mean,
who's the best American player? Like, who's the best American? I'm trying to think. Like, who would you? Like a serious question. I don't even know. Off the top of my head, who would be the best American player that's in the NBA right now?
Well, at this very moment.
I don't know.
Well, this is difficult for me to even say, but I have to admit I was impressed by the way Jason Tatum has come back from his injury. I didn't know what he was going to be like, and he's amazing. And let's see what those Celtics do. But I mean, he's also playing with Jaylen Brown. I mean, we've got Brunson in New York, and I am curious to see what it's going to be like when Steph Curry is back up to speed. What is he doing? I just can't imagine his shot's not going to be there. I feel like
he's whining about politics. That's all he's doing, like his coach.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about the product on the floor. It's like he has an amazing shooter, and I don't think anybody who could take that away from him, and to see what he's doing. And even I'm not a fan, and I know obviously he's on tail end of his career, but there are still times when LeBron James looks amazing. And I have to say that I can't lie. I can't, he's, there's still times, and I think it is something to say that he has been doing it for this long, and he can still get up there and play at an incredible level. Now, can he do it? He can't do it every night.
Now. He's not playing now.
Yeah.
He's hurt. He's hurt now. Yeah. Got a sore elbow. Can't play.
But I mean, he's still to have this type of being able to maintain that long career. And I think we're going to see more players play these long extended careers due to things that they're doing, the way that they're taking care of their bodies, the way that they're training, and just improvements in medicine or injuries that were at one point were very devastating and could possibly be career ending. We're seeing people be able to do some incredible rehab and come back. So I find that fascinating, and I but you have to have if you didn't grow up with a team, if you don't have, you're not vested that way, you didn't grow up with a team, then if you're a college fan, it has to be, well, can I follow this player I really liked into the NBA? And, sometimes you can. I mean, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited to see what Caleb Wilson does at the next level. I have no idea who he might be playing for, or, they're still saying, he's going to be a top 5 pick. So you're not going to, the greatest team. But, once he goes, I will watch some games. I want to see what he does. And I think a lot of players, a lot of fans, may keep that. Or, of course, there's some fans who are only going to care about who's playing for their team this year. That's who they're going to watch. Once they leave, they don't care so much.
I think we'll have shorter careers. These guys already complaining about how long the seasons are. I don't think LeBron only stays because that's all LeBron can do. He doesn't add anything outside of just being a basketball player.
Well,
But
I mean, he started a school.
I
I think there's other things he can do. I mean, if he chooses not to do anything, I mean, he doesn't have to. He can sit back and enjoy his wife and kids. But I think he really enjoys. I think he does love the game, and I think he wants to see, how long can he push this thing. And I do think it's interesting the advances that have been made, and the way, Caitlin Clark was recently talking about, some of the things he does, like with his diet. She's like, I'm not going to do that, and the people who really want to play for a long time have started to do these things. Whereas players in the past, they didn't know. And we hear kind of about the crazy lifestyles some of them were leading. But now it's more about, you have to do this. You can't eat that. You have to take it all, if you want to have this long career. And I think that the top players, I think they want to do that. There may be some people who are more like in the mid-range who may say, oh, I don't. But those people who are at the top of their game, we're going to see them do that more and more, I think, take that steps. If they want that long, extended career, if they want to go for those records, I think that's the direction we'll see them going in.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think anybody who remembers the NBA, how great it was, and sees what it's become now is truly sad at how it's diminished. It's eroded to I don't know what you want to chalk it up to. I give a lot of the blame to Adam Silver, but that league is a shadow of its former self.
Well, I mean,
shadow of its former
self. They were superstars, super duper stars. And I think right now, just stop. I'm trying to prevent a kid from coming over here. No kids.
Oh.
There were
bring them on up. Hey,
no, don't say that. There were, bigger than the game superstars. And I mean, I still think we see that. I'm going to put a plug in for something. I'm not getting any money for this, but if you have kids, go take them to see the new movie, the Steph Curry movie, basketball. I'm not saying it's as good as Space Jam, but really it has a good message, and it's just nice family fun, because there's not a lot out there. As someone who has a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old, there's not a lot out there that I would say is as family friendly, maybe as things used to be, but it's a very cute movie. So
does he get on there and pontificate about his politics? Does he do that?
No. It's just about how
much he hates
basketball.
America.
No,
but it's great.
I would not say that Steph Curry hates America, but there's nothing in there that's political. It's just it's a basketball movie. It is about perseverance. And there is something that's a little bit, I think, taken from his story about, being smaller. And people say when you're smaller, you can't do things. And I think that's kind of good for kids to see that that is not necessarily true. So it was cool.
Does he talk about how he ruined the game because all these kids growing up are trying to shoot threes?
That's not his fault. That's not his fault. I mean, you could say Jordan made everybody think they could to dunk and take off from the free throw line. And so we've seen some misses there.
Jordan wasn't a one-dimensional player. Jordan was a five-dimensional player.
He's not a one. I don't think Steph Curry is a one-dimensional player.
He's a shooter.
He is a shooter, but that's not all he does. I mean, he's a good passer. He's also incredibly, I think he's a good defender for his size also. Yes. So no, I would not say he's one-dimensional.
He's a good mouthpiece twirler. He likes to have that mouthpiece.
Yeah, he does enjoy that. He does enjoy that. But he is more than that. Let's not Let's not diminish him to that, Rick. Come on.
So
Come
how,
on, Rick, you're being cynical guy again.
Steve
Come
Kerr
on.
pissed me off last. Just shut up. Steve Kerr, that whole organization. Yeah.
Just
Hey,
stop.
first of all, serious question. How's your fam? Everybody doing okay after Kitty? Everybody doing all right?
We're doing okay. We're doing okay.
Been thinking about you.
It's just, it's something you don't easily get over,
I know.
It's a tough thing.
Especially so little.
Yeah, a baby. So yeah, you don't easily get over that.
I hate that.
But of course, so there's memories everywhere you go, even though she was only here with us for a few months.
I know. You still look for her, and you like, I get it.
Like she's not in the window when I drive up. Like she was always there waiting. So
is the outside kitty?
I
still
haven't
like
seen him again. I haven't, but it seems like maybe that was an overnight thing. I don't know. I didn't even know that.
I hate that for you guys. I really do. You getting excited about baseball though? Your Marlins are getting ready to get started up. I know how you get fired up about the Marlins.
Just this past week, my daughter had a special day at school. They had to wear a team, and she wore her Marlin shirt because we are excited. I actually have friends from North Carolina who are coming down here when their kid has spring break, and they're going to be seeing a Marlins game, and they wanted us to go with them. And honestly, normally I would jump at the chance, but it was a weeknight game and it wouldn't get out till really late. So I said, not this time. I said, but come back. And so they're excited. They're coming from North Carolina and they're coming down here and they're going to watch a Marlins game.
Yay.
That's how excited. It's not just people here, Rick. The excitement for the Marlins is spreading across this great country.
Well, you've been saying Marlins fever was rampant, and here we are.
And I mean, I don't know. I've heard people talk about Lock World Series. I don't know.
Really?
I'm sure you've heard that too.
No, not until you just told me. No, I'll keep my ear open.
You heard it here first.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, wait a minute. When is the midweek game? When are they coming down?
Let's see. It's later on this month. I had to look at the calendar.
Oh, okay. So school.
Because I don't remember the exact date, but they're coming down here. Let's see.
Couldn't you let the little people have a day off and take them to the game? Just say you're
and just skip school the next day.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Rick! No, I don't believe in that. We take school very seriously here. But if it wouldn't be so late, yes, or if they were going on a weekend, we totally would have gone with them. My friend, she grew up in Philadelphia. She is a big Phillies fan, but she just loves baseball. And so she's never seen Marlins play in person. She's never seen it. So she wants to come out and see it.
She loves baseball. Seeing the Marlins might not cure that, But
I told her it's a fun experience. The ballpark is fun. She will enjoy herself, that she and her family. So, yeah. Yeah. Well, so when you come down, we'll go on a weekend.
Yeah, we'll go on a weekend and we'll make a whole weekend. Maybe I'll come down if the Padres played it on a weekend. That'd be fun.
That'd be fun. We'll look at the schedule.
Just hang out with Marva. Yeah.
It'll be so much fun.
And then we can go kitty shopping. By then you might want a kitty.
Kitty. Funny thing is I've never been kitty shopping. Like every cat I've had has always been, a neighbor's cat had kittens or something like that. I've never actually shopped.
Yeah.
But they find, they call it the cat distribution system. They find you.
They do. Well, mine was in a bag on the side of the road. So
how sad.
You don't know that story?
No.
About Balboa?
So somebody was just trying to throw Balboa
don't
away?
get me started. This was like 5-6 years ago when I was still jogging, which I know sounds crazy, but I was.
I didn't know you ever jogged. That's cool.
I did. So I was rounding the corner here in my neighborhood, and as soon as you're around the corner, don't get me started, I don't want to use bad words, threw a bag of kittens. Oh. And so 3 of them had already been killed. And you walk up on that, and you're already upset, and then I see the bag move, and then he comes out, and you're like,
well, he's meant to be yours.
Pocket. Yeah, and my kids were still here, and all my kids were still here, and it was just like, we got to keep him. And now he's a very violent hunter.
But that's good. I mean, I just think that is so awful because if you can't keep, the kittens, usually there's always someone who wants a kitten, or you could take them to no-kill shelter if you have those there.
Who does that?
That's really sad. I don't know.
Who does that?
I would not want to be around that person because if they do that, who knows what else they might do.
I would like about 3 minutes with that person.
But seriously, they always say people who abuse animals, it's not too far for them to go ahead and do things to people.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people we know who've been violent, like very violent individuals, like, serial
100%.
killers and things like that. A lot of times they start with animals.
100%.
Even some of these school shooters we've seen, they
started with animals. They practice on animals. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
Wayne's asking, so Marva never skipped school for the ACC tournament back in the day?
No. Okay. So when I went to school, Wayne, it was such a big thing in North Carolina. You didn't have to skip school because the teachers wanted to watch it so badly that they would bring in TVs. I mean, seriously, back in the day, they had to bring in TVs on these carts, and they would usually wheel them in for like some educational film or whatever video. But for ACC tournament time, pretty much all of the teachers would wheel that cart in so you could watch the games. Because that was when all the games would happen. The first day would be on a Friday, and it'd be 4 games. And so 3 of them would happen, or 2 or 3 during the school day. They would wheel it in, and you knew who your teacher was pulling for. Whether they were usually, in my case, they was either Carolina or State.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense.
So we didn't have to skip school because it was just on TV. And I have to ask friends who have the way they've changed it now. I don't know if they're still able to do that because everything is so spread out. So I don't know if teachers are still doing that or not.
Yeah, like today, it's 2:00.
So spread out.
5, and then I know. Yeah. I'm with you.
Oh, those were good days, Wynn. Thank you for that memory.
A good old day. I think the first Thursday and Friday of the NCAA tournament should be an off day for everybody. Like those first 2 days, when they started around 12:07, those weird tip times to start.
Yeah. It's so they can stagger them all. It's really,
so much fun.
They do it because you can watch. I mean, remember when you had to choose, or they chose for you what to watch? I'm just trying to remember how it worked. But now you can watch every.
Yeah, you watch
game.
them all.
It should be a national holiday. I agree. It should just be. Nobody's doing anything anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Are you going to jump in our BDST pick'em? We're going to do a tournament bracket.
Of course, I will be there. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Well, great stuff as always, and I'm still thinking about you guys and the youngins especially.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Are they doing okay? Like seriously?
I think they are, but still questions and.
Well, yeah.
Some of them you just can't answer. It's just a part of life, unfortunately.
Just tell them that Rick said, no matter what happens, they're the 2 most beautiful children that's ever been created.
I will tell
every time I see you, I'm like.
Every time I see you say that, though, I'm like,
look at
Rick,
them.
you have children too.
They blow mine out of the water.
Your children are adorable. It's just, I think it's different when they get older. They're older.
They are, but now your daughter's looking like she looks like mom. Like you can just see Marva is starting to develop, and you see
it's
so
weird.
Cool.
Everybody says that. I don't see it. I think I don't know who she looks like in the family, but.
And then the little guy, I mean, you like him immediately. He didn't like to wear dress clothes, so I'm all about that.
And he still doesn't.
That's my guy.
Shorts. Yeah.
As he should. He's in Florida.
Are you wearing shorts now? No, it's still too cold.
No, it's still. Well, we're getting there. Like, okay, here we go. Before we let her go, we always compare. Like now, we feel great because it's 47.
Oh wow! Yeah, it's 71.
71. What's your high today? It's 71 already.
I don't even know. The high today is 83. 83. Yeah.
And
spring has sprung early. What?
And there's no humidity yet, right? It just feels great. It's 83.
Yeah, it feels wonderful. Oh, it feels that sunshine feels so good on your skin, Rick.
Well, we're getting up to 72.
Okay, that's good. That's
good. Marva's giving us the pity cheer. Hey, 70, that's just fine. That's okay. You're okay.
Yeah.
It's not 80.
Yeah.
But 70.
No, you got to admit, that's a pleasant day.
It's a good day. Around here, you better believe
leaves
it.
Again, right? The green
a little bit.
Again.
Yeah, they're starting. Grass is getting green. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
So don't complain, right?
Yeah. Oh, no. We're the hideousness of winters. But then next week, again, 35 on Tuesday, 45 on Wednesday. Why?
Mm-hmm. I don't know who this person is, but they misspelled Duke.
Duke is a locked when you see who is D-O-O-K. Yeah.
That's how you spell it.
D-O-O-K. Yeah.
Yes, that's the correct spelling.
He's right too, by the way. Nobody's going to beat him.
You never know. Like again, I'm just real quick. I know it's almost time to go, but they have been a lock before for so many things, and they have come up short. So I'm just saying it may happen again.
I would agree. It's Duke, she says. Yeah.
No, I didn't say that.
Well, give my best to everybody, and you have a great week. And,
thank you. You too.
Good luck to your Caleb Wilson-less Hills in the ACC.
Yes. And tonight I will again pull in for the Hokies.
There you go. Hokie colors. Marva's got. They got to win now.
Beat Wake. Come on. Because Hokies. Maybe the Hokies could play their way into the tournament. Maybe.
Wake, of course, is kind of like Carolina's third world rival in that state, right? They're like down the list. Yeah, Wake Forest. Yeah, right. Because the other two.
I mean, I lived in Blacksburg when I was there, so
I know. Oh, I know.
Come on.
I know. Wow.
Go Hokies.
So Marvy's saying it. Go Hokies. She just said it. So there you go. All right, we'll give my best to everybody, and we'll enjoy.
You have a good day.
I will. You too. Take care.
Okay,
stay warm.
I'll try.
Marva in Miami. 83 down in the greater Miami area today. We love Marva. And I hope everybody's doing okay. It's really sad to think about a little animal like that just was fine 1 minute and then not. Like, that's just sad. Just like people. But I agree with Tebow. I don't see anybody beating them. I mean, they beat UVA like a drum. And I thought UVA would have something for them. And it was, 25 points or whatever it was? And Carolina can't hang now long term. Louisville wasn't the team everybody thought they were going to be. But I think Tech will win tonight. I feel good about Tech tonight against Wake. Beat them up bad in Blacksburg. Neutral site. Yeah. They'll win this game. They'll win tonight. Segueing from Marva to Brian Seigla from the Boundary Corner. What's up, Brian? How are you?
What's going on, Rick? How we doing?
Doing all right, man. We got Brian on a time constraint today. He's got some very important things happening later today, so we had to jump him on a little early.
I've got an Energy Tech conference I've got to be at a fixed time. So
that sounds important. I mean, it really does. Sounds like more important than anything I'm going to be doing today. So there you go. What do you think tonight, Tech and Wake? How many games? That's our BDST fan question of the week. Many people are saying Tech needs to win the whole darn thing, which isn't likely to happen with those Dookies in the way. But how many games? You think three wins is enough?
I think 3 wins, barring some of those unexpected, single bid conferences having upsets that weren't expected. And now all of a sudden you potentially have like a conference that was only going to get 1 in, may sneak 2 in now with the resume of the regular season winner.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's where it gets a little dicey and where I get concerned. But if you only have maybe one of those, and it's not kind of 2 or 3 conferences having that situation, I think 3 would do it. I don't think that you're going to be able to just beat Wake and Clemson and call it a day. I think you're going to have to get a 3rd.
I think you're exactly right. That's what it feels like. And you're right. What happens in the back if Miami somehow loses, gets upset, right? Or did they win the thing? Is that over? I don't even know if the MAC tournament. But I was thinking that's a bit. The West Coast, Santa Clara last night upset St. Mary's. I don't think they'll beat Gonzaga, but then there's a bid, right? Because Gonzaga and St. Mary's is going to be in the tournament. So, yeah, those are the things you have to keep an eye on. That's 100%. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's where it's like the math gets a little wonky because I think if everything is static and they win 3, I think they're in. But if things aren't static, that's when it gets a little dicey. I mean, it's one of those things where you look back at the season and you kind of just you kick yourself because there were so many opportunities to close out some of those games and
the injuries and just everything else. What's your take on Mike Young and the way he's been? We talked about this. He mentioned his vacation. He sat there after the UVA game, buried his face in his hands. I don't know what the F I'm doing. Then yesterday, he's like really kind of like angry, saying, of course we're an NCAA team. It's ridiculous to say we're not. So what do you think? He's going through all the levels of denial right now. Do you think he's back next year on his own? He won't be fired. Do you think he's back next year on his own?
That's a good question because it feels like he's setting up the end, even if this isn't the end. It feels like he knows that he has an NCAA talent level team. And I don't know if that frustration is starting to wear on him in a similar way that it's wearing on the fan base. Because I think we also consider this from a talent perspective an NCAA tournament team. So I'm not sure if that's just this season of frustration on the back of everything he dealt with last year with just not having the resources to put the team together that he wanted to. I don't know if those two things back to back are just weighing on him to a point where he needs like a little bit of a reset, or if this is really kind of the beginning of the end in terms of Mike Young kind of maybe potentially anointing a predecessor that's already on the staff. So
that's the way I looked at it. I think it's kind of like everything now's coming out, how frustrated he's been about not having a healthy team most of the year. That's what it feels like to me. It really does. And I get it. Their whole growth was stagnated week by week, right? Because somebody else wasn't back yet or somebody else was down and they had to adjust it. I mean, it just affects so much in a short season like college basketball. It really does.
Yeah, and especially when you take into account, you missed, Lawal for a good number of games, leading into conference play. He really didn't play back into form until towards the end of January. You had a bunch of other players in and out. TJ out for a long stretch of time there. Wonder when we were going to get him back in. So it was like we never really felt like this team was at full tilt until the very end of the thing. And even then, you still had a couple guys out that could have provided some depth on the roster. So it's frustrating. It's got to be frustrating for him. Looking back at the UVA game, I mean, that was a game of runs, and they started out the gate,
played hard,
blowing the doors off, and then we fought back into that one. UVA closed out the half well. We played a really good second half, I think, overall until towards the end there, and that's a frustrating one. Even though it's like you were expected to take a close loss, and you took a close loss, so nothing was hurt in terms of the eyes of the committee for the tournament. But at the same time, it's like you could take those guys down. Like you were right there.
Yeah,
you were right there. You just had to finish it.
Are you guys back this week on the podcast?
We are back this week. We got Colby Crawford jumping on with us this week to talk a little recruiting.
How do you think recruiting's? Yeah, what do you think recruiting's going to look like? We were talking about this yesterday with Coach Elmation and Todd Grantham a little bit about how things are adjusted recruiting wise, because it's all down to payment and keeping guys involved that know they're going to have to come in somewhere and have to try to develop. It's got to be a very difficult line for coaches now, given this, right? To try to recruit, because you can't do it the old-fashioned way. You can't assume anything anymore.
Yeah, I think that's why, when we look at it, a refocus of emphasis on high school recruiting is probably a good thing for Virginia Tech. Just because if you're getting guys in the portal, you're absolutely paying that premium, because they at least they've got tape they can lean back on. There's things of that nature. I think you have a little bit of a better negotiating strategy with a high school athlete. I mean, if they're not a 5-star, you can say, hey, this is how we're going to structure things. This is how we're going to do things. That we're going to reevaluate at the end of your freshman year to see where we're at. Those numbers can go up or down. I think there's a little bit more flexibility in that, and the relationship piece of it matters a whole lot more when recruiting the high school athlete than potentially, looking at it from a portal first focus. So I like Franklin's idea of at least going forward after year one, using the portal more as a supplement versus just pulling in a bunch of frontline talent to fill in the holes.
Do you think this interaction with the government's going to do anything, going to help anything long term to try to fix all these things, to make it more of a common sense that we can get back to some kind of commitment from people instead of just, being here 1 year, being there 1 year, and moving on to the next high bid?
Yeah, I mean, I think there needs to be some degree of guardrails put in place on this thing. I'm 1,000% in support of athletes getting paid for their talents. I put it on X yesterday. When you've got a $50 billion plus industry, you can't give the primary labor force the equivalent of a non-liquid $25,000 a year and expect that to just kind of disappear. I think that's kind of where we are. We think about scholarship plus per diem. That's probably somewhere around the average, right? So, minor league, single A baseball players make more than that in a lot of instances. So, and that they're actually getting paid money that they can go out and do something with. It's not a, promise of future liquidity, right? So when we talk about that, that's where some of this comes into play. And I don't think you're putting that genie back in the bottle. But at the same time, I think there needs to be some guardrails that we look to, especially on the tampering front in particular. I think that's probably the most egregious guys that are otherwise happy with their situation getting enticed with money into the transfer portal is probably the biggest problem with the current situation, more than really anything else that we're dealing with. Guys that are happy, guys that are starting, guys that are making what they were comfortable with, but now all of a sudden they've got a bigger offer on the table, using back channels and otherwise. So that's my biggest problem with the current situation. I think, you could look at, team caps, things of that nature. I think there's a lot of different things that you could incorporate that could make this a little bit smoother and stop the kind of runaway train of the money just growing and growing and growing with no end in sight.
Well, a lot of that tampering goes the other way too, though. The athletes, I've been told by college basketball coaches, they're letting people know halfway through their season they're going back in the portal. They're already talking to programs. Their handlers are contacting other programs even while they're still playing for their current school. So I think the tampering thing kind of gets presented one way, but it's also going the other way. Whereas it's the actual athletes that are putting feelers out all the time. And so, sure, people are going to go, yeah, well, he's already saying he's going to be leaving. So that word gets out. Reputation spreads so quickly amongst coaches. It doesn't take but one or two times, and they know somebody's going to be available. So it's just, I don't know what the answer is going to be, but I do know that I'm like you. Like every time there's a labor dispute in sports, I always pull for the athlete. They're the entertainers. They're the ones that I'm watching. So I always want them to, I don't want the owners who are already billionaires to get more billions and millions. What is that going to do? Same thing with the schools, right? Who do you want to have it? The people that are going out, you're going out and paying money, tickets to see, you're donating for or supporting, or you want to see the school administrators keep all the money, right? Or the commissioners. Yep. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So I mean, that's where I'm at too. It's like this was a little bit different in, even going back to the 90s. I mean, schools weren't raking in the money that they're raking in off of college basketball and college football that are coming in at this point. So it's like at some point, the people responsible for that product, or at least the people that have a large hand in that product, need to have some of that compensation. I think we got very comfortable with, the coach getting $8 million and, a player just getting a per diem plus scholarship every year. And we were comfortable with that. But, meanwhile, the school's building, these giant facilities off the back of, some of these the funds that are coming in from those sports.
Yep.
I think, we're at a point now where you let it go for so long that now it's a bigger problem than it could have been if there were incremental changes along the way. Starting with, once you had the Ed O'Bannon situation, just go ahead and starting to make some incremental changes on player compensation, NIL in general. But instead there was a, kicking and screaming response from the NCAA to a point where, you had other lawsuits that forced your hand. And we're kind of now with a situation where you've got 50 points of reference instead of just one. And I think that's the more frustrating thing for me when I'm looking at this situation, is that until something happens at the congressional level that sticks across the board, we're at a point now where every time something comes up, you've got a lawsuit in, you got a lawsuit in Tennessee, you got a lawsuit in Virginia, you got a lawsuit up in Maine, you got a lawsuit in Ohio. Like at some point we got to get past this situation where, we've got these 50 points of contention on the rules of the sport. And so many of them are just based on, eligibility and transfer portal now. I mean, like, everybody's trying to get a 7th or 8th year of eligibility this year, and it's kind of wild.
Yeah. Well, I guess if it were still NIL, it would be fine, but of course it's not. It's just, pay for play contract. It became professional ball when nobody was prepared for it to become professional ball. And that's where we are. So when are you guys going on this week so people know where to find you?
Yeah, Wednesday night at 9, we will be on Twitter, we'll be on Facebook, we'll be on YouTube. Go check us out on YouTube. That's the preferred platform. You can get the video, you can interact with us. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And if you're looking for old episodes, go to boundarycornervt.com. Check out all of our stuff there.
And they promise they'll have pants on this time, so it'll be great. Y'all have a great time.
That's right. Pants on all night, man.
Pants on all night. All right, brother. I know you have to get out, so thanks for everything. Thanks for joining us, man, and have fun on the podcast Wednesday night.
Appreciate it, Rick. You have a good one now. Appreciate it.
Be a good man. Take care. There you go. Brian Seigla. He's got to go. He's got important things to do. Appreciate him jumping on. Mike Burnop coming up here at the top of the hour. Good stuff. I want to thank all of our partners once again. And that's truly our partners, because I know it's helped many of the people that have decided to sponsor this program obtain business. And it's great. That's what it's all about. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply since 1997. James Lawson, 381-8011. The NRB Super Bowl, 382-5525. 25 years they've been doing it. Go check it out. Appreciate hearing from people on the text line yesterday that, hey, we've been going over there a couple times since you've been talking about it, and now they've made it kind of like a bi-weekly thing where they go over to the Super Bowl. That's great. Sundown Electric, our newest partner here on the program. Nothing but satisfied clients. Go look at the reviews for Sundown Electric. It blew me away. It's great. The craftsmanship, the attention to detail, and we appreciate them jumping on. Thanks to Jeff Smith. He and his brother have taken it. You see there's trucks everywhere down in Roanoke area. They're out of Elliston, and we appreciate their support. They are awesome. Oh, by the way, somebody else, if you want a T-shirt, let me know. They're $20. We have lots of them left. Ready, Set, Fun, ReadySetFun.com. Bob Chris, the brother of Dave Chris, the legendary Blacksburg head football coach. BOBCRST11 at Gmail. Series of text messages, and it helps you raise money. It's great. Professional Door Incorporated, sponsor of our text line. He is Travis Williams. They're doing a great job. They are everywhere. Commercial, residential garage doors. Nobody does it better. 38 years in business. And they have a full staff once again, full work staff. It's great. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of this program, my exclusive banking partner. I'm going through some refinancing right now, working with some great people. Jamie down at the branch in Radford. Thanks to Lara Ramsey. I'm telling you, if you're frustrated with your bank, you should go to National Bank. I've never had an issue with them. BDST Fan Question Weeks presented by the attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. And people think Tech needs 3 or have to win the whole tournament to make the NCAA. Yeah, Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. Thanks to Charles Lee. The absolute best at what they do. I had my property assessed yesterday for this refinancing, right? Met a gentleman at lunch here at the house, and he was like, wow, those units look great. I'm like, yeah. And his first thing out of his mouth, is that Little River Heating and Air? I said, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This program is presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. We're going to introduce you to their latest employee, Stacy Compton, later in the week. Stacy was going to be on yesterday, but he had a doctor's appointment. And thanks to Tim Miller and Jonathan Sweet. We've got to get Jonathan back on here soon. Just need that energy, need that vibe. Family Fencing, very first sponsor of the new show. Give Jason Green a call. Family Fencing, 540-200-8294. Free quotes, every material you can think of. Residential, commercial fencing, doesn't matter. They can handle all the biggest jobs. McClellan Chiropractic over in Christiansburg. Thanks to Mark Hundley. Here in a couple weeks, we're going to be filming. I'm going to go through the gauntlet of machinery. Thanks, Marco. You're the best. You are the best. Sundance Kid is the name of Robert's horse. So that's great. See, that makes it even better. The envy I have for you right now, Robert, and being out on your horse for 6 hours, that's cool. Federal government's asked to fix things. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to see the interaction with the government actually result into something positive, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. I don't believe that's going to happen. All right, let me go get Creed back. He's out here again. I think he's gotten through his morning. He's looking at me like, you going to open the damn door? Hang on. Come on, buddy. That was cool. All right, buddy. Why don't you go to bed now, okay? Sorry, that was cool. I had like 7 deer just walk through my yard. I was got a little distracted. That was kind of cool. I let Creed in. I look up. I hear a little noise. I heard a snort. I look up. We got like 7 deer in the backyard right now. It's cool. I didn't have my phone. I was going to take a picture. Wow. 100 miles. 1922. Good Lord. It's a special relationship, isn't it, between your man and your horse? We had some horses when I was growing up on the farm. And it's a special relationship. Now, we didn't have anything like that, but that's great. But, yeah, I'm pessimistic anything will get done. Most things involving sports, because it's also money-driven, everybody just lies. It's all about greed. I'm very pessimistic. Very, very pessimistic. Morris says, I remember Greenberg. He had a really good team, and his coaching screwed up a bunch of games. They missed the tournament. Seth calling out the committee. Yeah. A pompous ass. Yes. Hopefully Young is smarter. Leave it to ESPN to employ a guy like that. Prometheus says they should only pay the top 10% and players shouldn't be able to transfer without penalties. Second part, I agree, but the way it's gone, they're not, and maybe a deeper dive at the top 10%, you might be right. But everybody now, what did Todd Grantham tell us? Everybody on scholarships getting money. How in the world did it get to that point? I don't understand it. I mean, it truly just became pay for play almost overnight. It changed overnight. And the reason it did, it makes a lot of sense. Why? Because that's what was happening. Blue chips was a regular thing all the time. So it was a natural progression. You are what you eat. So, in other words, this is how the lifestyle has always been. So, therefore, when it became legal, everybody naturally took the next step, which was pay for play. We're already paying you to come here. So now it's legal. So we're not going to worry about you going out and having to get deals for your name, image, and likeness. No, we're just going to give you $3 million to come play football here. I think the NCAA lost control, Morris, because they started losing every court case, because every judge and every jury, everybody looked at it, the hypocrisy that they kept all the money to themselves all those years, and the coaches kept all the money to themselves, and everybody got rich. So when you get rich and you're a fat cat and everybody's greasing everybody else, you don't want to make any moves. You don't want to do any actual leadership. Right? That's the way it works. People who make the most money, if other people are trying to help protect their salaries, you're not going to go out and do a whole lot, right? Nobody wants to rock the boat as long as you do enough to keep the heat off. Well, I think that's what happens with a lot of these school administrators, conference commissioners especially. I don't know if it will or not, if antitrust will fix it or not. Maybe. But that's why it happened so quickly. And the NCAA knows it has no power in the courts. So that's why they don't regulate anything. They don't regulate anything. And you have a bunch of high school kids who are just starting college now that are the beneficiaries of all this money. So they have no experience in how to handle getting that. Right? So it's not like somebody who's graduated college or went to grad school or trained to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or somebody who's learned a professional trade, who's worked a long time, right? These are people that are just coming out of high school. Oh, goody, look at this, $3 million. Wow. And they just gladly hand it over. So what you have people running the business at the top who lost control because they were exposed for what they are, complete frauds. They have no power to wield any authority going forward because once they took the lid off the box, all the gremlins are out and you can't put them back. And so they just are just letting it all happen and letting the schools deal with it individually at their conferences. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I don't know how they go back to anything that makes any sense. I really don't. It's not going to make any sense to us as fans going forward. But I hope there's regulation. I hope. But it's going to have to come from the government. Because there's not going to be any antitrust. And you are right, Brandon. It was Bowie Kuhn and Curt Flood and free agency and all that. And Curt Flood won. So, yeah, I'm with you. Ryan Pry, the attorney, says, when I prepare trust for somebody with young children, they almost always hold it in trust until the child is at least 25, so they'll be more responsible. There you go. With pay for play. Remember, it's not NIL, Ryan. With pay for play, there are such rules. That's a great point. There you go. There's a great example, what I was just talking about. Yeah, 25 years of age. Yeah, by then they should be mature enough. Well, here you have 17, 18, and 19-year-olds. Here you go. Take all these millions. And then you have the handlers or families, whatever it might be, getting their cut. A lot of inexperienced people now getting money, that life-changing money that they never thought they would have probably 10 years ago, until all this evolved into what it is. And the thing about all this is, even though the focus always goes to the athlete, to the kid, none of this is their fault. This is all the fault of the adults who didn't do anything for all those different generations. And I think that's another reason they're not pushing anything, because they know it. I mean, you have people that have been at these universities a long time. They've seen many generations of all this go through. They know. And that's why they also can read the handwriting on the wall and know that, well, if we try to change this, we're just going to get shot down. We may have to pay more money. But it sucks. I know that. It sucks to see the haves and the have-nots and all these things. Brandon says, if you put them in a trust like Ryan suggests, you could have stipulations like age of the contract. I agree. It's a great idea, but how do you get to that? Who's going to enforce anything? I mean, it's a question I would like to have answered, because I don't know the answer. Like, how now do they say, okay, we're changing all this on a dime? I mean, the only way it could happen, and it's not going to, so don't think that I'm sitting here being naive, but the only way it could happen is if all the power leagues and Notre Dame got on the same page about how to pay different tiers and agree on an unofficial salary cap. It would have to be unofficial, because there's no governing body. There's no players association. There's no management, if you will, because the NCAA has just disregarded its responsibility. And if the power schools develop a cap, it would trickle down to the rest who aren't making nearly as much money, who can't afford to pay what they would have been paying anyway. It's not going to happen. But I don't know how this goes back to our conversation. I don't know how you find anyone who's going to be able to change it at this point, unless it's the government, unless it's an official order. Yeah, exactly, Ryan. Yeah, it's different when the parents are setting up the trust for their kids, because they're in control of the money. With the NCAA, the kids are the ones earning the money. So how do you mandate those rules? Exactly. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. But it has gotten to the point to where you hear so much floating around, and you sit back and you wonder, how in the world have we gotten here? I don't know what you're talking about, Prometheus. What do you mean? Your company makes millions. I'm the highest ranked employee, but pennies on the dollar. Am I owed more? What court will the court side with you? I don't know what that means. Explain. The reason the courts are never going to side with the NCAA is because they saw the monopoly and the hypocrisy that they had. They had the records. They had the books. They saw where the money went. They saw what was prevented from being distributed or rev share. They were a corrupt organization. If your business is not a corrupt organization, right? Everybody recognized the NCAA for what it was. Moore says it's interesting that college universities charged up student loans for more than a pace of inflation. Taught our kids, and now screaming foul. Karma can be, yeah, it's true. That's true. Andrew, it depends on what you agree to take and what the market will pay. I worked at McDonald's in high school for minimum wage at the time. They were one of the top companies in the world. I don't set the rules, Prometheus. You're acting like I'm the one that's setting the damn rules. And I'm just telling you that's what happened with the NCAA. NCAA lost because everybody saw the corruption and how they lied about things. So the courts immediately sided against them after the O'Bannon ruling. That's why they don't sue anybody. They know they can't. They're trying to sue. Some of these universities are trying to sue. I mean, you'd have to ask these judges what they base it on. All right. Because the other businesses are owned by people or certain people. They're the owners, right? I don't think there's anybody in college athletics who right now is an owner. There's nobody. You don't have a boss. There's no boss. There's nobody in charge. That's the whole point. In your business, at my business at Radford, it's the president, BOV, I guess. It goes a little further than that. But there's nobody in charge. There's not one person anymore. There's no head of the NCAA. Charlie Baker didn't have a clue. You kidding me? He's just going around saying what all the commissioners and the presidents are telling him to say. I mean, yeah, I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you that's what happened in the courts. We used to talk about it on the old radio show when all this was breaking loose and what some of the people said. Cartel's a good word, Ryan. Yeah, it wasn't a business. It was a cartel. That's perfect. Yes. I mean, the results of the cases against the NCAA are what they are. They're never going to win. They're winless. So therefore, you're not going to see them do anything to correct this. That's why it has to come from somewhere else. I don't think your business has been corrupt. Your business hasn't had lack of leadership. Your business has owners, people who started the business, the company. And I think to protect employees, that's why there are shareholders. You can buy shares into whatever business, right? Profit sharing, all these things that were created so employees didn't feel the way that you're saying that, you know. From a sports perspective, I remember my dad was always very angry over the salaries that athletes were making. And when for that 1 year he found out Michael Jordan was making $30 million, he thought it was the most ridiculous thing he heard. And I said, hang on for a second, Dad. I said, Michael Jordan, they estimated worldwide, was making the NBA on his own name and who he was. The league was profiting billions off of Michael Jordan. And this was after the Dream Team, and this was after all that. And I said, well, okay, so $30 million for an employee. I said, Dad, you work for the state veterinary's office. If you made them billions, you would expect to be paid more. So this goes back to what Prometheus was saying. If what you do directly results into your company making buku's money, And I think that's what we're looking at here. And the reason that the commissioners aren't pushing back and presidents might say they're losing money, but they're not, is because they know these guys are going to continue to make them money. I'm not sure that all these things we're hearing about, all these lawsuits, that's why I keep asking the question, are we being lied to? I mean, look at coaches. Why do coaches not rate? They might say things like this is unsustainable, but how sustainable is it that Kirby Smart's making $13 million? How sustainable is it that you have these buyouts for these coaches? Why is that never considered in all this? Now Morris is mad. Think about it from that perspective, too. The coaches have been able to move wherever they wanted to, take whatever salary they could get. Kirby Smart has a deal that he's going to be he's got to match the highest paid coach, whoever it might be. Who willingly gives them these? I mean, they just sit there and they just say, okay, yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll give you that. We'll create a $10 to $15 million buyout. Sure, we'll accept that. Who's forcing these presidents and ADs to agree to all this? When did all this become fashionable? We didn't hear people raising holy hell about coaches' salaries. But now that it's down to the athlete and it's out of control, it's all been exposed. So I think it has to come from as much as you hate to say it, I don't know any other way to get anything done unless it's something that's going to be higher than any court would say, we're going to sue for that. Maybe people would still sue, but do you trust anyone in college athletics? Do you trust Greg Sankey to do the right thing? I mean, hell, he's up there yesterday talking about how, and it's so obvious what he's doing. He came forward out of the blue saying that most of his league members are wanting to break away tomorrow from the NCAA. And he's acting like, I keep telling them that's not the way to go. We don't want that to happen. He's so full of crap. It's exactly what the Big Ten and the SEC want to do. They want to break away. And then I don't know what happens. But is that the natural evolution of it, that you have to break away? If you break away from the NCAA, how does that happen? What does that look like? How do you legally do that? I don't understand. But if they do break away, then do they make their own rules? Do they set their own contracts? Is anybody going to have the self-preservation to say, well, we can't keep spending this? Or are they all going to be like, hey, we got the money. We can keep spending this. We want to be better than everybody else. See, that's what I'm saying. They can't get rid of that. Yeah. That's what I was saying, Morris, about Nick Saban. Everybody acts like he's just so above board. He was right in the middle of it. Yeah. Not only his coaching salary, but what was going on at Alabama. He acted, and he tries to come across like, well, this is ridiculous. What's going on? All right. It's ridiculous. Here's what needs to happen, all right? I agree, Prometheus. 100%. I mean, I'm down at Big South Tournament. And I'm talking, different people around that place and folks from our quarterfinal opponent, Presbyterian. Thanks, Robert. Thanks for checking in back-to-back days, man. Spread the word out there in Montana. Get us some subscribers. Tell your horse we said, hey, tell Sundance Kid to have a good day. That's great, man. Robert's got the life, man. That's so cool. So cool. But Presbyterian has first-team all-conference player. Jonah Pierce is a great player. He can play anywhere in the ACC, and he will. They have the Defensive Player of the Year. They have 2 honorable mention players. And you talk to the coach, and they say, we're going to lose them all. They're already gone. So he's coaching them. They beat us. They played well in the semis. Didn't quite get it done. But he knows his whole roster's gone. The guys were very honest. You know, we're going to go in the pre-portal. We're going to make a lot of money. And they are. And I don't know how sustainable that can be for any of us. Coaches are still getting paid a lot of money. We don't get paid any more money for being someone who's a fan of college football or basketball. You know, it's not like, I mean, I'm in college athletics, but I don't get paid anymore. Oh, trust me. For any of this that's going on. You don't get more money from your bosses just because you want to donate to tech and contribute to all this. Fisher and Saban, 2 peas in a pod, work the system. Yeah, exactly. They're total hypocrites. I don't know why this affinity for Saban. Great, great football coach, arguably the best of all time in college football. But now this whole sainthood that he seems to be crowned with by so many people, it's very humorous. I mean, you had Jimbo Fisher out there saying he was going to take a third of what salary he could get, right? Because of all the money he had made, $16 million for being fired from A&M. His buyout was what, $60 million? Why are schools agreeing to that if things are so bad? Yeah, it's true, Brandon. Some companies do matching gifts for charitable donations. You're right. Very few. Yeah, this is exactly, Morris. We're not talking about him as a football coach. I mean, come on. The record and what he did at Bama speaks for himself, but don't think he did it at Bama just because he showed up in terms of just being this great thing that did it all by himself. He had help. He won, but he had a lot of help from the mafia. And everybody around college football knows that. So I think maybe people outside of that network and people who watch that hideous show understand, well, he's not coming from an honest place. Come on, man. Agreed, Morris. Agreed. So there won't be a commissioner. There won't be any guardrails. This is why I'm very pessimistic about it. This conversation just naturally evolved back into this. This is how big it is for people. I wasn't planning on getting into this today. It just kind of happened. Just kind of happened. Because it's on everybody's mind. We all see it for what it is. And I don't know how you make it better. Nobody does, or there'd be people out there with more ideas. And the reason I keep getting, every day I catch myself because I get surprised. We went through another week and nobody had a viable solution for any of this. You know why? Because nobody wants a viable solution for any of it. People are just letting things be. They're going to let the natural progression of things weed out the ones who can't. And the haves will continue to be the haves, and the have-nots will fall further behind. That's exactly what these other conferences want. That's why you had Sankey yesterday. It was such absolute posturing. Well, I know everybody in my league wants to break away, but I keep telling them that's not the way to go. Like he's some kind of savant, some guy out there with the best interest of things. Come on, Greg Sankey, you've been the biggest detriment to this whole thing. Yeah, somebody like Lou Holtz would have been a great commissioner. But do you think there are any schools in the power leagues, any power league that's going to agree to one person being appointed by the NCAA to come in and set all the rules, and everybody's just going to blindly follow those rules when all these commissioners and all these leagues know they have the true power? And yes, I know all the schools make up the NCAA, but the NCAA doesn't. They're acting outside of that power, so they're not part of this whole solution. So next time you see some bozo on TV say, hey, we just need to appoint a commissioner. Okay. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? And who's it going to be? And who's going to give them ultimate power? What's your answers to those questions? That's what I would want to ask somebody who's actually thinking somebody like Saban would be a commissioner. Who has the power within the structure of the NCAA leadership right now? And I use that word loosely, to be able to say this is the way it's going to be. You know how quickly that's going to be challenged? You know how quickly? You know how quickly you're going to see a court ruling? Todd Grantham just sent a basketball spending in the SEC. Basketball. Every school spent at least $10 million on its roster. Kentucky spent over $20 million. How about that? That's just college basketball. Wow. I've agreed 100%. 18-year-olds getting millions and playing 8 seasons. Yeah, they're trying to, aren't they? For 3 different teams is terrible. Yep. But that's what the system's allowing. That's what the system allows right now. And that's why, again, you blame the people at the top of the totem pole, not the people at the bottom. Because the kids that are coming into it didn't make any of these decisions. So, but it was the lack of decisions by the adults that have gotten us into this situation. But you're right. When you say it that way, it's ridiculous, isn't it? But that's exactly what's happening. Kids are trying to get 6th and 7th years because they know they're going to make more money in college than they're going to make more than likely professionally. So it's terrible. All right, joining us now on the program from the ACC Tournament, that gentleman. It is Mike Burnop. Mike, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning, Rick. How about you? I'm doing well.
Doing all right, man. Hey, it's time, man. Here we go. Postseason basketball. Now it's time for Tech to start their run, right? Their journey to get back into NCAA tournament consideration starts tonight.
Well, excuse me, Rick. That's
right.
kind of the bottom line. Everybody's 0-0, and you start from scratch. And I think the Hokies really got kind of lucky and got a good draw. You didn't want to be in that 8-9 game and then have to be staring at Duke down the barrel, right? So, you're playing Wake Forest, a team that beat you on the last second shot in Winston-Salem, and a team that you beat them by almost 20 points in Blacksburg just, a few weeks ago. So, yeah, I think the draw is favorable. Winner, of course, gets Clemson, which is the team that the Hokies went on the road and won, played down there. And then you come back and play Carolina if you got that far, a team that you were tied at the half and, played them pretty well. Just didn't shoot the ball very well in the second half. So, yeah, not bad.
3 wins, you think? Is that kind of the consensus? I mean, I know we don't know the set number. You think 3 wins? That seems like to me that would do it if they were able to accomplish that, to win those 3 games you just mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be certainly a big help. I don't know if 2 would do it. I'm not sure if 1 would do it. It just depends on who you listen to and what their thing is. I mean, there were so many close losses when you had guys injured, and that could be an issue. And we don't know the status of Monty Hansberry. He got banged up in the game with Virginia, 6.5 minutes left, I think it was, and didn't play anymore. We were not here yesterday for the shoot around because we came down later. And so I'm not sure what his status is. We'll find out more today when we go to practice and then see what's up with that. But that could be certainly a big factor too.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to get away from the injury bug, have they? All
Yeah.
year long. From start to finish, it looks like it's going to haunt this team and what they could have been.
I know it's kind of sad, but that's the way it is. And there are a lot of people that dealt with injuries. And look at it in North Carolina, the situation they're in. They thought they got Caleb Wilson back, and lo and behold, he breaks the finger on the other hand. So and he's out for the rest of the season. And I thought that team was coming on strong. So yeah, I mean, you just don't know. But one thing we do know, Rick, is the Hokies got to play a 40-minute game. I mean, they go to Virginia and get down 16 points at the half. That was a tough to overcome, but they were able to do it.
They
Tie
did.
the game up at 51. I mean, I was like, you got to be kidding. How were they able to do that? So came back and played well and just couldn't get over the hump there with some last-second shots, a couple missed free throws, missed dunk, little things like that. And then, Onienso, the big dude, came out and had the game of his life. I mean, he got shots shoots 24% from three-point land and makes a couple of threes. And he's not a good free throw shooter, and he bangs down his free throws. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. You gotta play better, and you gotta play better for 40 minutes.
Mike Burnop joining us on the program. Thanks to Louise Baker, the Louise Baker team, Long and Foster Realtors, 540-320-0382. Take us through, Mike. You've seen them twice. So, what kind of team now will Tech fans be watching? Like Wake Forest, what kind of a squad what do you like about them the most after you've watched them play a couple times?
Well, Juke Harris is really good. He'll get some ACC accolades for sure. He's really, really talented kid. Gets downhill on you. He's taking more shots and a lot more shots than anybody on the team. A lot more threes. He gets to the free throw line. They're just they're good. They're talented. They rebound the ball pretty well. Just didn't play well at Castle Coliseum. I think they were 6 out of 30 or something from 3-point land. And the Hokies had 6 guys in double figures. So that was a game where Virginia Tech played very, very well. Wake struggled a little bit, and the Hokies got them pretty good at the Castle. So, but again, it's a rematch. Everybody's 0-0, and I'm sure they'll be fired up for the game, just like the Hokies, I hope, will.
So everybody here in chat, people, all these things. Coach Young, he looked what he said after the UVA game and everything else. What's your vibe on Coach Young? Is it just like the frustration of the whole season coming out right now for him? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like you look up there and you guys have gotten hurt, and somebody has the game of their life, and it's just one thing after another. And he was frustrated and said that, and probably regrets that he did. But if I'm a player, I'm looking at that saying, hey, you know what? We got to take some responsibility here, guys. He's doing everything he can to get us in the right position to make plays, play the game. It's not his fault. We gave up a 10-2 run at the end of the half and got down by 16, right? We got to come out ready to play. Don't get smacked in the face and don't respond. So if I'm a player, I'm looking at it kind of in the opposite direction and say, hey, we want to take care of our coach and show him we're ready to go and play 40 minutes. And not let him get so frustrated and agitated and have to jump on us at halftime to make us come out. And the way they started the second half was fabulous. I think they had a 7-0 run and went to 13-5 and 17-5, something like that. And they got right back into the game. So, I think you got to take responsibility, just like back in football season when we talked about it. Brent Pry can only do so much when he's coaching. The guys have got to do what they're coached to do. They're getting paid, and they got to hold some responsibility. And I think that's the same thing in basketball. These guys getting paid. They need to respond, be ready to go. I mean, in the big picture, you're going out there for a 40-minute basketball game. Come on. You got to give it your best for 40 minutes, not 25 minutes, not 30 minutes. And, that certainly improves your chances of winning, especially this time of year when you're trying to make a run and win 2, 3, 4 days in a row.
And like you said, during football season, it's harder to do nowadays with kids because they are making that money, and you don't know if they're just showing up to do that. And maybe you're right. Maybe that's what he's saying. Look, I'm putting all this on me, but you're right. When do they stand up and take that? It's got to be harder today for coaches to get kids to be responsible.
Yeah, it is. There's no doubt. And it's such a different world we live in. And, they'll go back and some of them are probably talking to their agents and this, that, and the other. And they got all kinds of people in their ears. And, but you have to take responsibility. And I know this team is poised and ready to make a run. I think, when you look at it, they hadn't really been blown out in very many games. I mean, the second half against Florida State was bad. But, you look at the other games and Duke, they held them better than a lot of teams did, but nobody else really blew them out. And I think when you look at the way they played of late, losing to Carolina, that was a close game. And obviously the UVA was a close game the other day. Just, I think they got a chance to make noise. Again, Hansberry's a big part of the picture, and they got to obviously try to see if he can play or not.
Yeah, that's disappointing to hear. I hope he can. I certainly hope he can. Lord knows that you get Tyler Johnson back finally and somebody else goes down, right? I mean, that's what we're looking at right now. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, and Tyler's just finally getting back into the swing of it. He's still not obviously near what he was before he left. I mean, he got more minutes the other day than he has been getting, but again, he's not quite where he needs to be. And, we'll see what happens when we keep moving on, but he's a heck of a player. He can certainly add a lot of spice to the lineup with his rebounding and defensive ability. And he played more and more, from Boston College to UVA. And hopefully, obviously, if Amani is out and can't play a lot of minutes, whatever, Tyler's going to get more minutes, as will Gerdak.
Mike Burnop joining us on the program. His appearance brought to you by Louise Baker, the Louise Baker team, Long and Foster. I haven't heard whether Louise is going to the tournament or not. I'm sure she is, right? Come on.
I don't know. I haven't talked to her. I did check with her about going to Boston College, and she I didn't see her over there. And I said, "Are you here or are you staying home watching it on TV?" And she said, "Well, it's a little bit late," and I gave my tickets away.
A little late in the evening. I get it.
Yeah, a caffeine special. So, I did not see her there. So, I'm not sure if she's coming to this or not. It's a great tournament. Obviously, the Hokies got a good spot. You got those first two games at noon, and obviously the 2:30 game. But then the Hokies in that slot at nighttime, 7:00, the only game, so it'll start on time. And everything should go smooth. So you never, you wonder about those things, because if you win a game, the next game gets. Obviously, Clemson will be at 9:30 at night. They never start on time, as you know.
You feel like this is going to be the end of the line for Jeff Capel at Pitt? All indications seem to feel that way, right? Unless they make some kind of magical run. They start today with Stanford. Start the whole event off against Stanford today.
Yeah, and it could be. I don't know. They've already had 2 firings in the league, with obviously Boston College and Georgia Tech. But, I think it's kind of this two-way street. I mean, if the guy doesn't have any resources, then what do you expect him to do? He's not going to make magic, right? You're not going to pull a rabbit out of a hat. So it's got to be a two-way thing where you got to have the resources, you got to have the NIL money, you got to have the commitment from the university, and we'll see what happens with that. I don't know the situation at Pitt. I know it was not good at Boston College for sure, and I know Georgia Tech struggled a little bit as well with their academics, and recruiting is tough there, and all those sorts of things. But it's sad to see because they're good coaches. It's just the world we live in now, and if you don't have the money to get the players, it makes it really, really hard.
Do you think anything is going to come out of this whole thing? Congress talked to a bunch of representatives for NCAA or athletics. What do you think? Anything at all will come down the line here anytime soon as a result of that try to help things at all?
I do. I think something will happen. I think, when the president gets that committee like that together, a group of people together, I think there's some great ideas coming out of it. And I think they definitely need to change the calendar and make it a more level playing field. It's great to have some of these teams like in March Madness come out of nowhere and maybe make a run. But I think in football, which is the bell cow of everything, you got to have some guardrails up, and it's just gotten so far out of hand that I think everybody understands that the game's not the same. It needs to be fixed, and I think they will come up with some great stuff to fix it. Now, the
I hope.
question is, when and how fast is that going to get done? But hopefully, it will get done, though, Rick, because they need to.
I hope so, man. I hope you're
Yeah,
right. I'm going to be pessimistic until something happens, but something's got to happen,
yeah,
and, and I hope that it does. And I just don't know if there's the only way that anybody's going to be able to implement any kind of power because NCAA clearly has none, right?
yeah. That's it. I mean, they're kind of a lame duck kind of type situation there until you get some guardrails up. And the other thing is, every state is different. I mean,
I
the
know,
the
I
the,
know.
the legislations in every different state. I mean, it's like, good Lord, how do you fix this? But it's just, I mean, it's crazy to have kids that are playing 6, 7, 8 years, and you're just taking away from the high school kids too. That hurts them. And you got grown-ups playing against teenagers, and it's just not an ideal situation.
That's a great point. I think people forget about that. It's not only high school kids now aren't getting recruited because everybody's focused on the portal, but you're right. They come in as 17, 18-year-olds. You may have a bunch of guys out there 23, 24 years of age. It's like, a mismatch in a rec league game on a Sunday
Yeah,
somewhere,
yeah, that's it. Like Chandler Morris up at UVA, they got a court date the 1st of April to see if he can get another year of eligibility. And I mean, the kid's already in his mid to upper 20s or something, I think. And I just don't see that that's ideal. I mean, I don't. They need to change that. I mean, and I understand why kids are doing it because they're making more money. A lot of them will never go pro. The odds of going to the NFL are so slim that it's difficult. And they understand, hey, you got to make hay when the sun shines.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, and the sun's shining in your eyes when you move a little bit to your right.
Yeah, I know. So I have actually the shade pull, but one of the strands is actually open by that much. So that's what's coming through right now. But hey, you know what? It's 75 today and bright sunshine, so I'll take it, man. It's better than the alternative.
Absolutely. What we had early in the month in January, oh my gosh, that snow! I didn't think it would ever melt. It was so funny.
I
We
didn't
go to
either.
UVA last Saturday, and the parking lots of some of these malls, strip malls and stuff, they still had piles of snow packed up there where they had obviously had to get it up from when it did snow. So they may have gotten more than we did.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see how it all plays out tonight. We're all just waiting now. I guess football is going to be taking a little time off. They get back here soon, right? Everybody's spring break, and then boom, it's time to get ready for practice. It's here.
Yeah, we had James Franklin. I was surprised he was at the Boston College game, and I saw him over in the end zone over there, kind of sitting there, and he was with Johnny Lawson. Well, Johnny Lawson's one of the most elite Hokies there is. He's got his name on the indoor facility, right? The Beamer Lawson indoor football facility. And so I asked him, I said, why don't you come on with us sometime in the first half? And he said, okay. So we got to the under 8 timeout, and I looked over there and I kind of motioned to him, come on over. So he came over, sat down and talked to him. And I said, you got one of the more elite Hokies over there right next to you. I said, are you trying to twist his arm to get some money for that indoor facility to get heat? I said, after all, his name's on the building. He kind of
That's true. He
laughed.
wants it warm. He wants it warm, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, but he said that they're all getting away. They were going to have their last two winter workouts Thursday and Friday, early morning Friday, and they were going to turn the kids loose. They got to be back Sunday night, this coming Sunday, for a meeting. Monday, they'll have one more workout. And Tuesday, you go to spring practice. The 17th, they'll start spring practice. And they're going to go, I think, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, going in the morning because of class schedules that were already done before he could do it. I don't think he wants to do that moving forward. I think they'll try to get those classes in the afternoon moved up to the morning where they can practice in the afternoon. And then Saturday, they'll do their scrimmages and whatnot and get ready for the game on the 18th. And he's hoping to get a big crowd in there and have a dry run for everybody. And it should be exciting, should be fun. There's so much going on that weekend with softball and baseball and football and the run for remembrance. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be a big weekend. Hope it's 75 then, Rick.
I know. Hopefully, yeah, it'll be like today and won't have a bunch of clouds and rain and wind and all that. That would be terrible.
Yeah, they'll make the tailgating and the crowd be big time.
It will be. It will
And
be.
Coach Franklin said he's going to get out of town a little bit as well. Said, usually when the players leave, that's when they try to get together as a family and go somewhere. So hopefully he's having a nice week relaxing somewhere. I know they've been hammered down, man. They haven't stopped, so be good to get a little break.
You and Zach be on the night at 6:30, correct, with the pregame?
6:30, yep. Game time at 7, and we'll see what happens from there moving forward. But I like the Hokies' chances tonight. I think they'll come out and play hard, inspired, and I think they'll be ready to go.
All right. Well, I'll be tuned in on the way home from baseball later this evening. We play JMU today, so
JMU, they're pretty good. That'd be good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
And all right, man. Well, listen, have a great time. Thank you so much, man, and get a dub tonight. Let's get a trend going starting tonight for that.
That'd be great to get a little run going here and get into the big dance. That'd be fun. Be great for Coach Young. I know it's been a frustrating up and down year, but winning cures a lot of things, Rick, as you know.
It does. Changes a lot, and losing makes things much worse. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Absolutely. And thanks as always to Louise Baker, and hopefully she'll be down there. But if not, she'll be watching. I know, rooting on.
Well, if she's listening, tell her Louise, you text me, and I'll look for you, find out where you are, so we can wave to you.
I will. I'll reach out to her and let her know.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Have a good time. Have a good time, man. Hope you have a long stay. This weekend.
That'd be nice, Rick. I appreciate it, and good luck to you guys tonight in the Diamond.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you, man. Good to see you.
All right. Okay. Take care.
All right. Mike Burnop joining us from the tournament tonight, Tech and Wake Forest. Hey, good to hear from Dwight Vick. Maybe some of the wrong players are getting paid. Phil Mason said some coaches don't know how to evaluate effectively. True. But now the problem is everybody's getting paid for football and basketball. Goes back to what Dwight said. The players know more than anybody else who should be getting paid or who should be playing, right? That's what makes the most sense. And he was talking about that during the Tech football season. He was making that observation that maybe Brent Pry was too loyal to certain guys. The locker room gets down on that. They know who should be playing. Well, the locker room also knows who should be getting paid. So I know the evaluation, man, it's what it comes down to. Brent Pry did not do it well, and Tony Elliott got it right last year. The coaches who do well evaluate correctly. It's hard, because it's such a mad dash to try to beat somebody to the punch and get a kid to sign and to get them to come play for you, that maybe you don't do all your due diligence with all that. But we just know it's a mess. Well, that's encouraging. Mike thinks something down the line. He doesn't know when, but he thinks something may come out of this whole thing. I hope so. I hope he's right. I hope he's right. I think having the employee tag be part of this is definitely in the future. I think it's the only thing that makes sense. I think it's the only thing that saves it. I talked to RED at Radford about it, and he agrees. I think he's the first person I've said. He's said that all along. What it looks like, I don't know, but that's the way it's going to have to go. Good stuff from Mike. Tech and Wake tonight, 7 o'clock. It's an earlier game. You can watch the whole game, get into it. Feel good about it, right? Don't you feel good about it? Don't like to hear about Hansberry, but they beat Tech at the end. Then Tech beat them up pretty good in Blacksburg. Feel good about it. How many wins? Who knows? Round and round it goes. But yeah, if you're in the area, come by and see us. First pitch around 4:02-ish. Radford and James Madison at Williams Field, Carter Memorial Stadium. I was down there with the team a little while yesterday. Appreciate everybody who's still asking. I had quite a few people on our professional door text line. Guys are dealing with it as best as they can. I thought it was a great message yesterday, Alice Square. Reminding these guys, it's never going to go away, but now we have to start thinking about what we need to do now as a team, responsibility to get better. And it's tough. It's tough to navigate through. And on Thursday when we have him on, I'm going to bring these things up to him, because you got to get back into coaching mode now. It can't just always be everything focused on the horrible tragedy. It's never going to go away. The whole season's for Joey Rakuya. But how do you now say, okay, now it's time to go out here and start playing baseball again? It's tough. It's tougher today than it seems like it ever has been. So we'll see how it goes today. They played down last weekend in Charlotte, took 1 out of 3 games, and they have JMU tonight. And then they start conference play against a pretty good Winthrop team next week. So it's going to be very, very interesting when all this happens. So we'll see. We'll see. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Good discussion today. Good stuff in chat, as always. Mark Hunley and the McClellan Chiropractic chat getting good value for its money today. So, I know it's probably a topic that I just hate discussing. I don't like talking about all this. We live it, though. We're all fans. It seems to be thrust upon us, though, to the point to where you can't get away from it. Greg Sankey yesterday. That whole thing, if anybody can't, you can just look totally through all that, what he was doing yesterday. Well, I'm telling our members that a breakaway seems really silly. Well, the whole thing is he knows that's what he wants to. And then he's going to act like, hey, well, that's what they wanted to do, so we're breaking away. That's going to be the next announcement. And what does that look like? How does that happen? Are you just dissolving the NCAA at that point when members start leaving? Is that like seceding from the union? Is that the same thing? If the Big Ten and the SEC decide to secede from the NCAA, then what's that going to leave? I mean, does that mean that if all the schools make up the NCAA, then what happens if they decide to start going out? And you would say, well, what about the power leagues? Would they all follow? Well, we still have a renegotiation coming up for TV deals, and all indications are we're going to have one more big realignment. So it's just all such a mess. It is all so ugly. That's why I appreciate when I'm in a press box today, calling a game, and for that moment, the game is all that matters. I know that's what many of you have said in chat, right? When you're watching Tech play football or basketball game, whatever it is, at that moment, you just got to kind of turn it off and say, here's the game. This is why we're here. This is why we love it. This is why we're all fans. And then all these other things can start to creep back in after the last out's made tonight, after the last shot is taken in the Tech game tonight. But I'm going to call it. I'm going to say Tech wins, and they'll be looking at Clemson, another winnable game. And who knows? Mike Young's done it once. Team catches lightning in a bottle. Now, this team doesn't shoot as well. They don't have a Hunter Couture hit every shot he's taken standing on his head, but they've got other strengths as well that that team did not have, particularly their big guys. So let's see if the long run begins tonight for Virginia Tech. 7:30, ACC Network, I believe. Let me double check. I don't think that's on an ESPN. Yeah, they're all on the ACC Network here for Tuesday. And then Tech would play the very late game on Wednesday at 9:30. But one at a time. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves here. What's the saying? Don't put the cart ahead of the horse. Is that what that is? Something like that. Anyway, Everybody enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Going to be a gorgeous day. Again, come by and see us at the stadium today, Williams Field. If you are around, stick your head in and say hello. We'd love to see you. Hang out with you. Come say hi. Should be a gorgeous day for baseball. Commonwealth battle, JMU and Radford. Ride the horse in Montana. There you go, Wayne. That's what we'll say. Hey, just ride that horse in Montana. All of us would know what it means, and Robert, right, the guy, the Montana guy, we'd all go, yeah, he's right. Enjoy your day, everybody. Please subscribe, like, share the channel. Let's get up to 1,000. Need your help. We'll see you tomorrow on the Wednesday.